Tough days, huh? Rough times. I wanted to try to talk to you from the other side, and that is to say, if all of this trauma and grief and everything like that is a river, right? And in order to get to the other side, we have to figure out how to navigate this sort of current that might change, shift directions. That's trauma and that's grief, two different things, but both need to be sort of conquered to get off of this bank onto the other bank so that you can keep moving with your life. So how do you do that? I don't know. There are many ways. There are many religions. There are many processes. There are many rituals. There are ways to get to the other side of the river. And I don't know what yours might be. Mine was EMDR therapy. Mine was a lot of artistry, a lot of writing, and yeah, a lot of therapy. So I just, because we hear so much about the initial bank and the trauma and all of the horrific things going on over there, I wanted to attempt to talk to you about what it's like on the other bank when you can cross that river and get to the other side, because it's different. Nothing looks the same. You're different. You've had to endure something to arrive there. You're not going to go straight across. The view's going to change. You'll be downstream. The sun will look different. Everything will be disorienting and changed, which can be really upsetting. But the reason we do it, the reason we process grief, is so that we don't stay trapped in trauma. So if you can grieve and get to the other side, like with just like with a funeral or whatever the normal thing is, you go to the repast and you have like macaroni, and then you're like, okay, every cell in my body understands what just happened, and it's still sad, but I've made the shift to a terrestrial world without that person who maybe has always been here, so it feels like the earth tilted on its axis a little more, so that I can navigate, because I've done this process of recalibration, which is kind of what grief is also. I'm mixing metaphors. So let's stick with the river. We get to the other side of the river, and a lot of our friends aren't there yet. Some of our friends are, but they're off on a new adventure, and it can feel very lonely. I say this as a survivor of child sexual abuse, as a survivor of child abuse, and I say this as someone who lost a friend to rape and murder, because I've been trying to memorialize her every year, especially on her birthday, and usually I put flowers in the sand that spell her name, and then the ocean comes in and takes her back to sea, and I try to stay in a place that has a balcony that I can watch this happen with her favorite wine and her favorite food, and that's been my process to help me get to the other side. But this year, this is the 10th birthday without her. I thought, that's not right. That's not what she wants me doing. So I thought, I'll plant seeds instead of getting rid of dead flowers in this ocean, like handing it to the ocean to do something with. I'll actually plant seeds and keep them inside while the frost is still going on, and then in the spring and so this was exciting for me. This felt right, and I went and bought all of these seeds, and I realized I didn't have rosemary, which is one of my favorites. And if you know Shakespeare, you know that's for remembrance. Rosemary's very important, and my friend Trisha McCauley was an herbalist, so plants have a lot of meaning. And sometimes, I feel her with me, and it's really felt different. So I ended up writing this poem. I'm going to read it now. And I think in case I'm emotional at the end, I want to say now that what I learned from experiencing this poem, which is sort of one way I've navigated to the other side, is that when we heal, especially from trauma, especially from a loved one we've lost to traumatic events, I believe that we, in our own healing, also help to set their souls free. This is just what's coming to me. Take it or leave it. It's just what I'm thinking, and it's why I wrote this. So I can get this here. Okay. It's called Stay. I said stay. She tried. She stayed for a decade, and then she said no more. Why? She said, I love you, but I love life more. We both have so much left on the road ahead. I miss you, though. I know. And I know what you think. It's none of my damn business how you were born or how you died. You need me to stay out of the before and the after of life. You need me to get all the way inside of the living breath of it. Why don't you? I miss you, though. I know. Why keep me in a dead place when all I ever cared about was living? Why not just let me go on to my next adventure? I think you've always been free to go. No. Not if my story stopped yours. No. Never. I'm not stopped. I know. Go. It's really hard. That's kind of what healing does. And when we're talking about little girls being violated, and we're seeing all that's going on, I think what I want to say about that is something that I learned in my own recovery as well, which is, which is that we cannot selectively feel. That's not how humans are wired. What that means is we either feel or we numb. So that's what we're seeing in the world now. We're seeing a lot of numb people who have chosen not to feel. And so they can't really handle emotions. So if you rage and cry, if I do, if any of us do, it's not going to work. So you need to do the healing for you and for the people you love and the people who love you too, and then turn it into something that is simple, because they understand simple. They don't run deep. I'm not trying to be judgmental, but it's just true. So it's so hard and it's so painful. And as a woman, seeing this over and over, it's a re-traumatizing constantly. So I give you permission to just step away for a while. Go do something fun. In the Julia Cameron Process of Artist way, she calls it an artist date. So take yourself out on an artist date, which one of my friends, she goes roller skating. I just bought a bunch of seeds. I'm going to plant things. Do something for yourself that kind of makes your soul giggle. Because that's where your power's at. And I know it probably doesn't seem to make a lot of sense. It doesn't feel strong to be like having fun, filling the well, as it were. But if you stay rigid and if you tap out, you'll have nothing to offer. And I say this as I speak to myself more than anyone, is that is an act of ego. That's your ego saying, I can handle this. I can do this. I can fix this. It's going to take a love army of so many people to fix this. And when I say love army, I mean people of joy, feeling, laughter, people alive, people who feel. And maybe there are two versions of the love army. There's the love army here, and then there's the love army on the other side of the veil, and that's how I vision it. I think these survivors, or they didn't survive, these victims, I like to think that their souls have all gathered together for a sole purpose, which is to complete this journey to end this violence against women, end this violence, and to find another way of being that is kinder, gentler, worth waking up in the morning to go live, and not just meant for 2% of the population. So make sure you have a permission slip to feel whatever it is you're feeling. It's all valid. And if you're feeling, period, whatever it is, if you're feeling, you're awesome, because you're choosing to be alive. You're choosing to be a healed person because you're choosing to feel. If you're choosing to numb because you can't and it hurts too much, that's valid too. Make sure you have guidance. Make sure someone is watching over you, because if you are numbing, that means you can't handle this on your own. And so reach for help. It's not a judgment, and I don't want you to judge yourself. I just say, reach for help, and that you'll know what that is for you. It's different for different people. And I know some days many women just wake up sobbing, and it's valid. It's just all valid. So I send love out to you, and I send you a whimsical inner tube that you turn this crazy, crazy path across this river into a whitewater rafting adventure. You deserve joy. You deserve love. You deserve all of the good things. If you're here, that's a miracle. If you're here, these moments in this day of this life are waiting for you. They're here for you. And you are surrounded by love. So don't let these weak men and these weak women and these weak people convince you that they are strong, because they are not. They are not. And in terms of souls, they go to gravity. They just become fertilizer. And keep your soul alive. Keep your connection alive. Keep feeling. Reach out for help whenever you need it. There's no shame in it.